Fat loss is not created by exercise. You can't just out-train a bad diet. Sometimes telling people about your goal and sharing your goals can make you feel inspired, make you feel good, and so good that you don't actually do anything. You get that dopamine kick and then you just leave it there. I'm not someone who likes to meal prep, to eat out of Tupperware boxes and things like that. I have a family, I want to eat with them. I'm just a normal person who wants to eat normally, but you can still, even with that in mind, prepare ahead of time. That is why I recommend resistance training, and also it reinforces good habits. Welcome to the Stronger, Fitter, Happier podcast. I'm your host Vin, and today you are joining me for another solo episode, and this time I am talking about 3 ways that you can accelerate fat loss. Now, you may be listening to this thinking, but I'm struggling to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm not actually losing any weight at all. This will still help you out. So this is for anyone who's either struggling to lose weight or doing it at a very slow pace and wants to ramp up results or just see results in the first place. So without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. My first tip for you is to plan for success. You know how the saying goes, if you fail to prepare, then you better prepare to fail. And this goes with fat loss as well. Now you may be listening to this thinking, how do you plan for success with fat loss? How do you prepare anything to do with fat loss? Well, if you don't know this rule, then this is the ultimate fundamental to fat loss. If you want to lose weight, you need to create an energy deficit. And the way you do that is by eating less calories than you burn every single day or across the week. So for example, if you burn 2,000 calories a day, you need to eat less than 2,000 calories to actually force your body into using fat stores for energy. And that's how you burn fat off your body. And you could do this as a weekly thing. So you just times the 2,000 calories by 7, and that will give you your total weekly expenditure. And then you can create a deficit in the same way. It doesn't have to be the same every single day. You can cycle calories or whatever, but that's not the point of this. Back to what I'm trying to get at. That is how you lose weight. So my first way you can kind of prepare for that and plan ahead for that is by tracking your calories. And what I mean when I say tracking your calories is not eat food and then track the calories. I mean track your calories ahead of time. So prepare in your head what you're going to eat ahead for that day. And an even better way to do it is to prepare what you're going to eat like ahead for the week. And it doesn't mean meal prepping. I'm not someone who likes to meal prep, to eat out of Tupperware boxes and things like that. I have a family. I want to eat with them. I'm just a normal person who wants to eat normally, but you can still, even with that in mind, prepare ahead of time. I will have an idea of what I'm going to eat for dinner, even though I'm going to cook it fresh. And I can input what I'm going to eat ahead of time into MyFitnessPal and make it work for me in terms of my goals and my daily needs. And that's what I'm suggesting you do. Track your calories ahead of time. What it does is it increases your accuracy. It increases, humans are notoriously bad at guesstimating food. Most people underreport when they are asked to keep a food diary. Even when you're tracking calories, most people have a margin of error and underreport by at least 10% that way as well. So just by putting some tracking in there, you're going to be ahead. You're going to reduce that error and reduce it. And especially if you're doing it ahead of time, because most people will forget about, that extra biscuit they had or the ketchup they put on the food that they ate. And these little calories can add up. So planning for it ahead of time will then stop you from doing those little extra things when you're making the meal in the first place. And the other thing is, planning your meals ahead of time and tracking your calories reduces decision fatigue. You know what it's like. You go for lunch, what am I going to eat? And then you go, I'm going to just pick this, I'm going to pick that. And it leaves something that you have to think about on that day. And it also it just causes more room for you to sneak in extra food or not eat something healthy. Whereas if you plan for something, I'm going to eat this thing that works perfectly with my calories and my goals for the day, then you have these things, you have it all planned out and mapped ahead, and there's less room for error. So my next tip once you've got that one down, is to move more. And I know, if you're listening to this and you're very knowledgeable, that fat loss is not created by exercise. You can't just out-train a bad diet. You can't just work out and that sort of thing. This is why I kind of started with the first one. But moving more does actually help speed up fat loss. Now, let me get to why. So, exercise supports resistance training anyway, supports muscle retention. And muscle retention is going to help you look the way you want, in terms of most people want to look toned and defined. Most people want to, feel strong and fit. They don't want to lose weight and just look scrawny and just feel basically like jello, even though they're losing weight. So doing it with training is going to help you retain muscle. Now, that doesn't specifically help fat loss. What it will do is help you look toned, defined, and slimmer in the way that you potentially want, not necessarily in the way you don't want, if that makes sense. That is why I recommend resistance training, and also it reinforces good habits. So training with most people tends to make them eat better. So you know what it's like when you don't train or you don't work out, you tend to go, I'll just eat this or eat garbage or eat, Whereas when you're working out, you're more likely to go, I'm going to pick something that's a little bit more healthier because I've had this workout. So nutrition and training kind of ends up going hand in hand. And this is why I recommend exercise 2 to 3 times a week at minimum. And the other thing is, it's going to reinforce good energy levels. You're going to feel more energized. You're going to feel better in the day. You're going to feel more energy. The more you use it, the more you're going to have it. Now, I know there's probably a law of diminishing returns. If you just do lots and lots of exercise, and it's actually research driven. If you do too much and you train too hard, you're going to eat more. You're going to feel crap. You're going to feel drained. But what I mean is, getting it right, getting an optimal amount of exercise in, is going to make you feel more energized. And when you're in a calorie deficit and you're trying to lose weight, you tend to see some sort of energy dip. You see because you're creating a deficit in energy in yourself, and your body's taking it from itself, maybe not at the early stages, but deep into a fat loss phase, you will start to notice lower energy levels slightly, and exercise just helps curb this. And the other thing is, I would say, not just exercise but daily movement. So this is non-exercise energy expenditure. Get that up. And the easiest way you could do that is by just moving more, walking more, just getting daily steps in. And it doesn't have to be 10,000 steps a day. If you're someone who takes very little, you have very low step count, just adding 2,000 to that can significantly improve your fat loss. Now, for most people, I do recommend 10,000 steps a day, but anywhere from 7 to 10,000 steps has been shown to improve well-being and health, give you all the health benefits you need. And from there, it's just going to help you support fat loss. And the way moving more in the day helps support fat loss is because you increase the amount of calories you're burning in the day. Now, it's not going to be a hell of a lot in terms of it's probably going to be about depending on how much you weigh, anywhere from 200 to 400 calories a day through movement. And that's by getting 10,000 steps a day. Now, I know you can just restrict, not eat a chocolate bar, and that's 200 calories. But at the same time, if you're meeting your calorie needs and you're doing everything right, and then you're actually moving and burning 200 calories as well through daily movement, you're going to see improved benefits in that fat loss, because you're creating a bigger deficit. And if you're not creating a bigger deficit through movement because you're eating those calories anyway, you're just able to eat more. So let's say you wanted to, you can eat 200 calories more basically if you were, or 200 to 400 calories more by moving more. Now, if you've plugged in your data and your stats into a calorie calculator and you've got it all worked out, most calorie calculators will take into consideration your activity level. So don't start like eating 200, 400 calories more just because you're doing 10,000 steps. What I mean is, if you didn't move, you'd have to put in a lower number and, eat less food basically. So this is why I'm saying daily movement is so important. And if you're struggling and you're thinking, I don't have a calorie goal, I don't know what to do, then what I would like you to do is check out the link in the description of this podcast episode, and you will find a link to our calorie calculator that will help you basically work out exactly how many calories you need in the day. And it is just for anyone listening only. It's www.bodybeyond.co.uk/calories, and you'll be able to get our calorie calculator that will tell you exactly how many calories you need to eat to lose weight. And the other thing I'd like to add to this one is basically, don't just rely on just going, I'm going to move more. Track how much you're moving, because what most people find as well is that when they're in a calorie deficit, they actually become lazier. Because your body's in an energy deficit, your body's quite clever at, I'm going to stop you from losing weight. It's good. Your body just wants to maintain its weight. It wants to stay stable. It's made to survive. So it has mechanisms to make you survive. So like when you go into a calorie deficit for a very long time, you'll notice that your hunger levels go up. And that's just your body telling you to eat more because you're losing weight. And the same thing goes with steps and doing movement. Like when you start to get into a deficit, especially when you get into a deeper deficit, which is why I don't recommend dropping calories too low for a very long period of time, you'll find that your energy levels drop and you move less. So actively tracking your movement will help you make sure you keep it up. You won't notice you dropping 2,000 steps a day. But if you're keeping like a watch or a pedometer or some sort of like movement tracker, you'll find that you can keep an eye on it and then, just make sure you're holding yourself accountable. And that cleverly brings me on to the third top 3 tips. I've made a bugger of that, but anyway, you get what I'm trying to get at. And it is get accountability. Now, what I mean by accountability is having something that is going to basically force you to take action. That's all I mean by accountability. And this is the ultimate kicker. This is where most people fail. They know exactly what to do. They have even a strategy and a plan in place, but they don't follow it. And the reason they don't follow it is because they have no accountability. And there are multiple ways you can get accountability, and that is what I'm going to go through now. So the first way you can get really accountable is through yourself. And the way you do it yourself is by having a strong why. Now, how many times have you set a goal and not achieved it because it's not meaningful enough? You need to have a meaningful why behind the goal you've set for you to actually achieve it. And I'm not saying you're not going to need other forms of accountability. You likely will, even though the goal is meaningful to you. But if you remember your why and you keep pushing and you keep it at the forefront of your mind when you're trying to achieve a goal, you're more likely to take action on that goal. The other way you could do it is, like James Clear says this in his book with Atomic Habits, is one, he gives an example actually, is of a man who signed a contract, who literally signed a legal contract that he will, I think it was something like he pays a certain amount of money if he doesn't do his daily tasks towards his weight loss. And he literally signed this contract. And I don't know who it was with the trainer or with his wife or whatever, that he was obligated to meet this, the things that he has to do to get to his weight loss goal. And he did it because he signed a contract. Now, I'm not saying you have to sign a legal contract, but making a commitment, making some form of commitment, whether it is a legal contract or not, is going to force you to take action. Making a commitment to a friend that I'm going to work out with you every day. Making a commitment to your kids that I am going to be able to take you swimming with my top off. Or, booking a photo shoot or posting a progress picture online and making a commitment that you're going to post another one in 12 weeks and show the difference. This level of accountability is incredibly strong, incredibly powerful, because most people, honor their word. They're not. Most people aren't liars. Most people want to do what they said they were going to. And this is why it works so well. The other thing is telling people telling people about your goals. Now, this one is a double-edged sword. Like, sometimes telling people about your goal and sharing your goals can make you feel inspired, make you feel good, and so good that you don't actually do anything. You get that dopamine kick and then you just leave it there. But if you're like me, and when you tell someone you're going to do something, you almost feel embarrassed if you don't. You have this burning desire to, like, I'm going to be a man of my word. I'm going to be someone who honors their word. Then telling people about your goal, telling people, especially who are supportive of you and will maybe even do it with you, like a friend or family member, is going to really, really be beneficial to you. And that is another way of getting accountability. Now, the final way, and one of the best ways actually to get accountability, is through putting the skin in the game. And what I mean by putting skin in the game is actually investing, spending some money or spending some time, investing something that is valuable to you into your goals. Now, the most obvious way to do this is by coaching, getting some coaching, like investing in a personal trainer, investing in a group where you go and train with them, or like having an accountability coach, something like that, where you actually pay, or you are trading something off where that is valuable to you, whether it's your time, whether it's your money, whatever, or your expertise or skill sharing or whatever. When you do that, you are more likely to basically do what you said you would. And the way this works is because you've put some skin in the game. You don't want to waste the money that you spent. You don't want to, basically disappoint the person that you said you would do the things you would to. Like when you tell a personal trainer, I'm going to meet you 3 times a week, and they're waiting for you at the gym, you're more likely to turn up because you know that person is waiting for you. You've made a commitment to someone and you've invested in that someone. You've paid them money. You've invested time. You don't want to be someone who's basically a failure. You've got this strong level of accountability in multiple ways. And this is why it works really well. And I know I'm biased because I am a personal trainer. We do have a coaching company where we help people lose weight. But I'm not telling you to join me. All I'm telling you to do is join something that holds you accountable. And that is the ultimate way that you basically achieve the results you do. Because what we're telling people to do is available for free on our YouTube channel, is available for free on all of our social media platforms. Our methods of getting people into shape and helping you achieve your goals of becoming stronger, fitter, and happier is not something magical. It is literally available for free online. You can get all of our methods. What you can't get, well, maybe from somebody else, but what you can't get for free is accountability, is the coaching, is the check-ins, is the support, is like us adjusting things when you need it to be adjusted to your lifestyle. That's what you can't get. And this is what people pay us for. This is what helps these same people who pay us, who are our members, get results, because they've made a commitment. They've got this accountability that is forcing them to take action. It's nothing else. It's not this special formula that we have. Yes, it's the calorie deficit, but how do you stay in a calorie deficit? It's by making a commitment and doing what you said you would. So that is the ultimate one, and that is the perfect place to end. If you want to speed up your fat loss, you can do it by planning for success, moving more, and getting accountability. Doing these 3 things will massively speed up your fat loss, and if you're not losing weight at the moment, will actually get you losing weight. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how you're getting on if you do implement these tips. You can reach me at podcast@bodybeyond.co.uk, and also in just the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this episode, or you know of someone who would really benefit from it, please do share it with them. Just one person at a time. We want to reach more and more people. So if you have listened to this, please just share it with one person. It would help us out massively. Take care, guys. I'll catch you on the next episode.